Namo Phat. Thanks so much for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This wonderful sound calls us back to our true home. The second mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression, I vow to cultivate loving kindness and learn ways to work for the well-being of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I will practice generosity by sharing my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in real need. I'm determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. I will respect the property of others, but I will prevent others from profiting from human suffering or the suffering of other species on earth. For our Dharma lessons, we've been reading More Than Mindfulness, Widening the Field of Practice by the Monastics of the Thai Forest Sangha. Today we're continuing in a talk by Ajahn Sona called Focused Attention, Panoramic Awareness. Another simile for this is that a bird also has a hemisphere cleavage in the brain. The bird must use a great deal of attention to pick out seeds from amongst grains of sand. How does the bird not eat the sand and just get the seed? By very close attention. But while that bird is doing that, they also need not to be surprised by a predator. So you'll see them looking around. They have appropriate awareness of the environment because something wants to eat them while they want to eat the seeds. The deer are the same. They're constantly having to browse, but at the same time, having to be hypervigilant and aware of their entire surroundings. Our mind does two things and needs to do two things. It needs to pay attention to the small details, but it also needs to pay attention to the overarching sense of the world around us. Sampajanya is a kind of wisdom as well. It has to have information and wisdom. When you do the 4 foundations of mindfulness, it's always in a context, and only wisdom knows the reason. Why are you doing these exercises? Sometimes when we start this practice, we don't really know why we're doing this exercise, except maybe out of desperation. You finally decided you've got to do something, and you've heard meditation might help. So you go to a monastery, you go to a retreat, or you even dial up a YouTube channel and you start meditating. And you're not sure why. It's only when you are integrating this information into the Eightfold Path that you are truly understanding why you're doing it. Sampajanya and Sati are performing their roles in the context of the Eightfold Path. Sati is not simply mindfulness, but Sama Sati. It's right mindfulness. And that means that it's the 7th factor of the Eightfold Path. The Eightfold Path also is not coherent unless you understand the 4 Noble Truths. The Eightfold Path is the path to the solution, the path to the end of suffering. The overarching reason for the harnessing of Sati and Sampajanya is for the ending of suffering, for the release from suffering. All this is going to be harnessed, so that's why you're carefully attending to your body and so forth. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace. Namo Phat. Thanks so much for joining me today.